P24, I'm Louise White, this is my co-host
Jess Scolieri.
Got a fantastic lineup this evening with a director called Jack Spring, with a great film called Dewsbury. And Jack, welcome to the show.
Good evening, how you doing?
I'm very well, and you?
Awesome, very well, thank you. Very well.
Good. Should we take a look at the film?
Let's do it.
Life finds a way, said Gandhi, or Jeff Goldblum, one of them. And one of them was right. Life does find a way to turn your comfortable middle-class lifestyle into a total fucking nightmare.
Are you mad, fam? You prick, bruv.
I had a job.
Are you leaving?
No.
I had a loving wife.
Why would you think that? Oh, just
You're leaving me.
I had a house with a great neighbourhood watch and reliable bin collections. But then it all went to shit rather quickly. How's Frank?
Dying. He's not that long left.
Shit.
He wants to see you again.
Me?
All of you.
And so we began.
That's not good.
Four old pals out to see their dying friend one last time. Frankie. Which sounds very straightforward. I had a degree in event management. I had a weather-appropriate jacket. However, the other three...
Toilet wouldn't flush.
Well, one's a complete idiot.
What do I need to do? You're still the same useless cunt you were at school.
One of them has more problems than the Middle East. And one of them is to women what beat is to the hairs between your arsehole and your ballsack.
So, how do you swing then?
But nothing could stop us.
Hello. You're all freaks!
What a hotel full of geriatric swingers.
Where did you get it?
Or whatever that was. Or a pair of deadly Russian mobsters.
Morning, dears. Room 2.
Where are they? You tell me now!
Homies?
Not even Neville, who just sort of turned up out of nowhere after everyone had forgotten about him. Much like herpes.
Oh, thank God for...
All right, Adam. Madness, isn't it?
Guys, onwards.
But Frankie needed us. He was our friend after all. And we would do anything for him. Even that.
Literally went through shit, Peter.
Because that's friendship. And real friendship doesn't age. It doesn't die. It remains through everything, no matter what.
You don't get to talk because it's your fault someone may or may not be lying dead in there because you're a bad friend and a fucking shitface!
Friendship survives.
Guys, if you love comedy, this is the one to see. Destination Dewsbury is absolutely fantastic. So Jack, tell us about the film.
Yeah, it's a very rude, crude sort of schoolboy comedy. Basically like middle-aged men in betweeners. All about four middle-aged guys that go on this road trip to go see their dying friend for one last time. Get into all sorts of trouble on the way.
like boys, hey, boys are like that, right?
Yeah. But like, especially like middle-aged men, there wasn't much in cinema as them as the main protagonists, and I think they're just quite funny.
Yeah, they are.
You can do quite a lot with them. They're all quite, at that kind of age, going through like a midlife crisis and relatively vulnerable, which we're going to pick on.
I think that's Louise and us, our age group. Yep, no problem.
I think I'm literally having one right now. In the film, there's obviously 5 lads. So they're Gaz, Smithy, Adam, and Peter and Frankie. He's obviously the dying guy. Where do you see these? Where was these characters taken from? Is it your real friends? I mean, or were they made up? Where did that?
Sort of, yeah. No, good question. They're a bit of everywhere, really. There was a writing team of 5 of us, so I was just one of the 5 writers. We had Aaron Nelson, who was the kind of main dialogue writer, if you like, and he kind of put the whole thing together. And so it was a real kind of mash-up, I guess, almost of all 5 of us. I wouldn't say that necessarily we were a character each. But we kind of formed these big, quite hyper-real characters that we thought were going to be pretty interesting. And they are, and they're all quite, and they're all, you can take them as stereotypes, I guess. You've got like the stupid one, the angry one, you've got all these big ones. But I think that the actors, they brought so much more to their performances, than that. There was a danger, I guess, that because we went for these very hyper-real, kind of wide of centre characters, they could have stuck, to that kind of stereotype.
Yeah,
but
of course.
They're pretty deep.
I love the fact that it's 5 writers and 5 main characters. It's almost like each one was like an alter ego.
So yeah, I mean, maybe we didn't even think about it. There's different ways.
Kind of flowed.
There's different ways you can interpret it. Like I look at each character, and I guess there are different versions of me in different scenarios.
Yeah.
Like
we all have a bit of Smithy in us. bit of Gaz in us.
Yeah, exactly. I think we do, but we kind of did that without thinking about it. To be honest, you know, we didn't. It wasn't really a deliberate sort of thing. But the way that they match, I guess, what was deliberate is, you know, when you kind of leave your friends and you haven't been together for a while, you know, you all get back together and very quickly, like the puzzles come back together. You know, within a couple of minutes. There's no kind of awkward really. You know, you haven't really lost anything, even though you've been away for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I guess making that kind of puzzle, or putting all those puzzle pieces of people together into a friendship group that kind of made coherent sense.
Which I find very relatable. I've just come back from a girls' trip where we all hadn't been in the same country for 4 years. And, you know, we are all very different in our personalities, but we grew up together. And so for me, watching this film was very relatable, you know, because we had one of our friends actually go through just a trauma or a tragedy, and we all just banded together like it was nothing. So for me, when I watched this film, I immediately could affiliate with those characters. And, you know, like we do have a little bit of Smithy in our group, who's our softie, and I'd probably say I'd probably be a bit of an Adam. You know, like looks good on paper, but a little bit of a mess.
We're all a bit of a mess.
Exactly, like, you know, just the closet little, you should do that, you know. Which character would you say would probably be, out of your friendship group, you would be the most?
Oh, that's a good question. A little bit of everyone. I know that's like a boring answer.
But
I guess, I don't know, I'd like to be Peter, because I think he's like the most amusing. I could just watch him being himself for an hour and a half and he'd amuse me. And that's the kind of character that we went for.
He's so nervous within his own skin almost.
He's brilliant, he doesn't like being disrespected. That's his kind of spine that we went for, which makes him very easy, you know, like you can just poke him in a script and he does funny things, which is cool. A little bit like Smithy in certain situations, you know, like if you put me in a big group of new scary people, you know, you can be the kind of shy one, I guess. Not so much Adam. It takes quite a lot to like wind me up.
He's crazy in this film, can I say, guys? He is crazy.
From the north, you know, shouldn't you already be like a bit more fiery? Like, I know I've got Italian blood, so that comes naturally to me. It doesn't take much, but you know, Northerns have a bit of fiery.
Yeah, we do actually. We are quite fiery. We must admit, because you're from Guernsey, I'm from Hull, which is over the bridge, and we are quite fiery.
I heard all about fish and chips now. I'm very educated on fish and chips.
Patty and chips, fish and chips. Definitely.
For me, some of the scenes, like the comedy scenes, were just on point. I was in stitches. My favourite one particularly was where the boys went to the Airbnb and there was actually a swingers club. And there was, you know, quite an older generation, older cast doing these acts. How was the atmosphere on set for that? Because I couldn't imagine, you know, someone's grandma walking around with things strapped on, and it was an interesting scene.
Yeah, the most interesting story from that whole thing, I had Doris, who runs the swingers hostel, if you like. I heard her agent on the phone to me. Now in the script there is an Eiffel Tower. The more educated of you may know what that means. But it's 2 men either side of a lady. I
saw.
And so the agent was quite worried that they couldn't work out what it was, so I had to very carefully over the phone describe what that was.
Wow, great conversation.
Which was fun. Yeah, that was fun.
I wonder if they've tried it out now.
Yeah, but on set they were great. Like we gave them, you know, it was actually quite hard to find extras for that scene, unsurprisingly. We had a few more willing ones, which was really cool.
Really? Oh my god!
So we doubled them up quite a lot in those scenes. So there's scenes where they're downstairs eating dinner, and then when they're upstairs, where it all sort of kicks off. We used the same willing extras, and fair play to them for donning some of those outfits. I was actually in that one as well.
Oh, really? I just
yeah. So Peter falls over, looks to his right, and there's a couple on the bed doing unsavoury things.
Is that you?
Yeah, I was bending over.
You're 6'9". That's probably my height, really.
That was my little cameo, which was because no one else would do it. Like no one, you know, like none of the extras wanted to do that on camera.
It's quite a hard role, isn't it?
Yeah, none of the production crew stood up to it. So me and it's actually Adam behind me. So the guy who plays Adam. So he was doubled up. He was in like a Kill Bill suit. Which was fun.
Oh, I bet it was fun.
It was interesting. It's a story.
Yeah, I can imagine. So the initial script, like, what was the thinking behind that? You know, did you want to make it? Did it actually Was your initial thinking behind the script to be a comedy, or did you just go with the flow? I mean, what was the initial thinking behind the script when you started it off?
No, it was to be a comedy. The reason it was a comedy is because when we started this process, I was 18. You know, the writer is maybe a year older, the producer's maybe a year older, so we're all like literally children. And we'd all, like, you know, touch wood, had quite protected lives up to that point. You know, we hadn't like been to war, we hadn't done like romance, we hadn't done heartbreak, anything. We hadn't like lost anyone in our adult lives. So we were very kind of limited in what we actually felt we knew. But we knew what made us laugh and what didn't. So we thought, you know, if we can make something that, you know, comedically we can relate to, it will probably make other people laugh.
Well, you certainly made me laugh. I was crying while laughing.
And like comedy films are my favourite as well. You know, like you have to make a film that you'd actually want. You know, you watch the trailer and you go watch it in the cinema. And I don't like paying like £10 to go and cry for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's true. What would be your favourite comedy then? What would you say that is the absolute comedy?
I think TV series, like we grew up on the In-Betweeners, kind of on TV.
Oh yes, I remember that.
I didn't know about In-Betweeners. Like, see, I've got educated since I moved here.
Right, Four Lions as well, probably, or Borat, film-wise. They were the two that they've made me like cry in tears, like on cinema floors, laughing. We snuck into a cinema to watch Borat when we were about 14.
Borat Mankini is still everywhere.
Yes.
Like, you know, it's still being done.
Unbelievable. They're probably
That's really, it's really good. I mean, the film stands out, you know, from the rest of the comedies, you know, British comedy. You know, it really shows life experience. I mean, did any of these come from your experiences? Like, did anything really think, okay, I've got to put that in, but in a funny way? I'm guessing so because you're laughing.
There were a couple of things. The toilet, the coach.
Please don't tell me you haven't gone through that.
Scene. Well, the coach toilet scene wasn't me. It was David Keogh, who plays Adam, the angry dude. He was actually one of the writers, so a lot of the kind of more adult themes came from him.
Got an interesting past.
Being minors when we wrote the scripts. So he had actually done that on a train.
Oh my god!
No way! You've got to watch this film, guys, to find out what this is about, what we're talking about. Watch it.
He had done that, and he brought quite a few of the more adult themes throughout, and not just like the naughty ones. There's some quite dark underlying sort of tones. So he brought quite a lot to that. But I guess the main thing that kind of came from my life is, even like back then, I did a year at university, and even when you go away from your hometown, all the like mates that you grew up with at high school and stuff, and then you come back, even after a couple of months, that kind of bond that you've still got. So I guess that was my biggest input into the kind of sort of bigger picture stuff in the film.
It was good.
But there were lots of little scenes coming from lots of different people, which was cool.
Yeah, it was good fun. It is good fun. It's a brilliant movie.
I really liked also the diversity of scenes that you had within there. So even like the location wise, there was quite a lot, because I obviously am not from the UK. I was Googling where these locations were, so they were like, "Oh, we're in Chestershire." I'm like, "Where's that?" So for me, I'm like, did you actually film some of those locations? Like, did you actually go to some of those locations that you mentioned up in the film?
Yeah, so pretty much everything was actually shot in Dewsbury.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so the reason it's called Destination Dewsbury, we went to a lot of northern towns that we thought would look right for the film.
Okay.
It started with D, so I wanted it to be Destination something beginning with D. So we went to all these different towns. When Kirklees Council, which is the council, that kind of operates everything in Dewsbury, they were really, really helpful. So they let us like shut off roads, they let us use their buildings to film in, and were really cool about us parking and stuff like that. We shut off a whole high street one night.
Oh wow!
Which was kind of, it's not actually made the movie; it's this deleted scene. But we shut off a whole high street.
Is it quite a big town, or?
It's not really.
No.
Like culturally, not a lot has come out of it. In the last few decades. But and I think that's probably why they were so helpful, because you try and shoot a movie like this in London, and this sort of stuff happens all the time. But you take it to a smaller town up north where that sort of stuff is quite a novelty.
Yeah,
and everyone's kind of into it.
Just kind of put it on the map too, because now obviously I want to go see what it's like, because I watched the film. It's great.
North Rock.
It was fun. Yeah, and I'd shoot more stuff up there, definitely. It was just great.
Would you ever film in Liverpool?
Yeah, anywhere up north, like everything's cheaper, people are nicer, people are more helpful.
Grimsby,
maybe. Sacha Baron Cohen's done that, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, the hometown.
We're knocking off northern towns between us. On
that's it. Yeah, I'll take that to go, mate. Knock them off, hole. I'll get out in there.
Oh, I was just going to ask as well, from a director's point of view, what was the biggest hurdle? What, you know, obviously like the location and getting the councils on board. What was some of the other hurdles that you kind of had encountered while trying to get this film up and running?
Yeah, I guess the biggest one for us, because we were so young, was getting the money in.
Yeah.
You know, like we started this process when we were 18, and having kind of people with enough money to invest, like high net worth individuals, take seriously when you're literally just stopped being a child, was really hard. So
and how did you kind of get that going?
We started a hot tub company, of all things. So no one would give us money.
Done. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Interesting way. Yeah. Interesting way into the film industry. So no one would like even meet us. So we thought we needed a bit more of a kind of business background, and then that went pretty well. So then, you know, a year later, we were able to go back to these finance people, and you know, because we'd done pretty well with the hot tub company.
Is that still running, the hot tub company?
It is, yeah. It's passed hand a couple of times, but it is still out there somewhere.
Okay, very nice.
Orbit.
Very nice.
But that was interesting.
So the hot tub led to the movie.
Hot tubs to Hollywood, eh?
That's the way forward.
It was a sideways step that we had to take to get the money in, just because, you know, I don't know how else we would have done it. You know, we could have just sat there and got really cross.
So we had this idea, and you know, but we want to make it eventuate. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like waiting around. You know, it was just
good.
The quickest way to get there was to mess around with hot tubs for a few years.
Got to do what you got to do. You know, look where you are now. You've been successful. You've been great. You know, you're
getting there.
Yeah, getting there. You're doing great. Come on, Jack.
A long way to go.
Come on. I feel like your mother. Can I just ask one question actually? Within the film, at the end, well no, it's towards the end, isn't it? There's like a video of Adam and the guy sat around a couch from when Frankie, I don't know if I'm going to give this away, but when Frankie passes, and obviously Adam gets shut out. You know, Frankie says each individual gives them a reason why he loved them, but then he cuts Adam out. What was the reasoning behind that?
Without wanting to give too much away, there was an undercurrent theme throughout.
Okay.
You know, maybe they had some sort of relationship. That went on when they were young, maybe something a little bit more than friendship. So we really didn't, you know, we wanted to take that away from Adam, you know, and that was kind of a big heart-crushing moment for an audience.
That kind of makes sense towards the end then, because I'm trying to figure out, because even me, I was like glued to find out, well, hang on, something's gone on, I want to find out. I was more intrigued to what happened, because he just blanks it and I'm like, what's going on then? He doesn't really say anything, but you kind of get that gist of what you've just said, but it's quite intriguing to see why he was cut off, but you know, it's quite emotional as well. You made Jess cry, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Jess cry.
After I just put on my lashes, that was hard.
It's comedy with heart. It's got it's comedy with something else.
Yeah, it's got a good roller coaster through it, because I was in stitches halfway through the movie, and then I was you could really feel the pain of Adam at the end. Like he was very distraught.
I don't think there's enough comedy that makes you feel as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And it's usually like a cop out. You know, I see films that are like comedy dramas.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, but like every film's a drama, really, isn't it?
But
like it's usually just like a producer's cop out because it's not that funny. But I think this one, you know, it is very, very laugh out loud funny, and then you've got like makes you.
Well, what do you think makes a good comedy then? What is the key to making a good comedy?
I don't know. It makes you laugh lots, I guess. But I do like those comedies that have something else. You know, like just even stuff like Edgar Wright's films. You know, like they're comedy, but they've always had like a sense of action sort of thing, and you know, like some you know, some of his stuff as well. You know, certainly makes you feel towards the end of it. But so I guess comedy plus some sort of other genre is what I like. You know, but without losing that comedy bit, you know, still got to make you laugh.
Oh yeah, no, you made me laugh. I keep saying this, but you did.
Thank you.
I just wanted to touch point as well on the makeup of some of the characters. So there was a couple of scenes where I don't want to give away too much of the scenes, but you know, Adam found some pills in the car, and the makeup there was on point. And then there was another scene where he got beaten up, and it looked very, very realistic. So I just wanted to know who actually did the makeup and the filming around those fighting scenes, trying to get that in, and just a little bit more about how you kind of worked those angles.
Yeah, the makeup team were great. It was actually my second cousin, Rebecca Henderson.
Hi, Rebecca. We like our makeup here.
She got into makeup as I kind of got into filmmaking, and then there was a few, like 3 or 4 short films that we did before the feature where she came on and like did makeup, and she was great. And her mum Sue came on set as well, and we had some days where we had like 50 extras, so we needed to get them through makeup really quick. So she came on So the Spring family really pulled their weight on this one. My mum and dad are extras.
Yeah, you did say your dad was an extra, and your mum and dad.
Yeah. One of the last scenes.
So which scenes were in the last scenes you said, yeah?
Yeah. So without wanting to give too much away.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the latter ones.
Just slide them in there.
Yeah. Well, it was actually the last day of filming.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So we needed all these extras for a scene. So they came up, and it was like a nice celebration, sort of, to have all of them there on the very last day.
Like a family reunion.
Yeah, it was really cool.
No, that would have been an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Just with regards to like some future projects, what did you actually get out of from making this film that you would bring into your future projects, or what some of the knowledge that you've gotten from directing this film?
Sure, yeah, there's so much, even like the 2 years before when we were on the hot tub company, I felt like that was like having 10 years of university or business school, whatever, and then just doing this feature over the last 2 years, just the amount you learn. I guess the biggest thing is how long everything takes in the feature film world, because like it is just a short but longer, that's the feature film, and you've got more money to spend and more people to look after and stuff like that. So in terms of putting it all together, kind of on the producer side, you learn a lot. Stuff that you don't have to do on a short. Like accommodation, feeding people for 3 weeks, stuff like that. But directing-wise, it's kind of, it's not too dissimilar. I guess with this one, you've got, it's almost easier because you've got an hour and a half to make people change, and they have arcs and to kind of explain certain things. So I kind of actually found directing it a little bit easier. And we had 2 weeks rehearsal. So the way that I direct, I'm very, very kind of like homework driven. So I do like a lot of script analysis. You do your storyboards, months before, and then we're really lucky because we had 2 weeks rehearsal, and that's something that I kind of like insist on. So by the time they get on set, they're kind of
people are prepped,
ready to go.
Go in there and do it.
So how valuable rehearsal was for us. The guys. I think the casting was really good in the film. So we picked the right actors. It was a very big
cast.
Yeah,
it was a really big
cast. They were all great,
Yep.
and they were all great because they're brilliantly talented, and we had 2 weeks to rehearse.
Wow.
So we really had time to kind of get them. Well, it's quite a lot for a feature film. You don't usually get 2 weeks. It doesn't sound. No.
Wow.
Yeah. It's usually like people are booked up and busy, but it's something that we took that rehearsal time into the schedule, and got lucky.
Yeah, I was gonna say Well, you was 19 when you produced Destination Dewsbury, weren't you? Yeah. I mean, I think I'm literally blown away by that, Jack, because that's amazing for me. I mean, at that age, I was still working, in a shop, doing my first degree, and I had no ambition whatsoever. So for you to do this film, and it's fantastic. I mean, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Where would you like to be? Because you're a star in the making for me. So
yeah, there's a lot of hard work to go. There's still a lot that we have to do. We've done all right for our age, but in the film industry, we're right down the bottom. So there's still a long way to go.
No, you're up there.
To have your first feature film already, that's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, and I think
it's on point too. It's a beautiful film.
Thank you. I think more importantly, the whole crew were young. The cast were, a lot of them were like double my age, which was really cool. But like the average age of the crew was 22. The producer was 22, the writer was 21, I was 19.
Wow.
I think the producer was 19 when we made it as well. But like everyone did great, and we took all these people that I'd worked with in the kind of short film world for a while, and they all made the step up really well. But in terms of like the next projects, I know the next 3 films that I really want to do.
Yes.
Which is cool.
The tour is what I'm interested in. Yes. So please tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So we're in development with a big studio in the US at the moment, which is really exciting. Tweaking the script at the moment, and we actually start attaching big kind of sort of names in August.
Wow.
It's exciting.
Can you not spill it now? Come on, spill it.
I can tell you what it's about. So it's all about this.
I
actually did a 3-month tour across America this time last year, and I was in a band, and we flew to New York, and we bought this van off Craigslist for $1,300 in Queens, and we drove it all the way to LA. And we were all in America for the first time, and lots of funny stuff happened. And we were in a band as well, so
Oh, you were in a band?
Yeah. So we brought these instruments, and we'd play little shows in people's kitchen in return for them, them letting us stay.
Oh, that's lovely. Wow.
So lots of funny stuff happened, and this my managers in LA and this certain studio, they met with us, and I had the senior VP there, and I was telling him some of the stuff that actually happened, and he was like, go away and write a script about this, because there's so much comedic potential, and having a very British movie set in the US is a bit different, and it's a bit of an easier sell on both sides. So we're working on that, and I'm hoping to shoot that at the end of next year.
Wow, that sounds amazing,
Fun.
Jack.
Yeah,
it sounds good. As well, Stephen Moore, alongside, is he involved as well, Stephen Moore?
Yeah, Stephen Morse, yeah, he is. He
yeah.
was the producer on Netflix's Amanda Knox documentary, which is cool, yeah. So he's attached as a producer on that one. So he's cool. And he's an American guy that lives in London.
Oh, right,
so,
okay,
you know, in terms of like working everything transatlantically, it works quite nicely.
I can't wait to see it. It sounds amazing already. I think you've literally
I do want to hear about these stories, these stories in the US. We
did
the girls trip. The same girls that did Belgium. We did the US together, and we did Disney World, but I love the States. There's just so much diversity and fun there.
I think going there for the first time as well, you know, there's lots of stuff that, me being 6'9", even when you go to like a public toilet like in a McDonald's, like here when you do that, there's a really tall divide between the toilet, like between where you urinate and where someone has a number 2. But there that divide is about 5'2" to stop people doing meth in the toilets.
Yeah.
So it's really awkward when you're like my height and you know someone catches you like accidentally.
Can honestly say I really don't have that problem being 4'11".
Yeah, you're alright.
Yeah, well I can't reach anything though, so it's like top shelf, well that's out. And I just look a little bit helpless if I need to put my bag up on the train. I'm like, okay, well someone's going to help me obviously because I can't do it. So there's nothing wrong with being tall. You've got a lot of reach.
I like it.
Yeah, exactly. One of the questions I also wanted to bring up is that if you could make an ideal film for yourself, so when you do become a huge success, because you're on your way already, what would be the genre that you would really like to focus on? Would you do a comedy sci-fi, or would it be purely just comedy that you want to see yourself in?
Yeah. So we know the answers to that already. We've got the script. We know exactly what it's called. The Story of the 1976 World Mini Golf Championships.
Oh,
so
sounds like a
it's a comedy, but it's kind of Grand Budapest Hotel-y.
Oh,
so we're gonna make this like ridiculous golf course like nothing you've ever seen before. There's no visual reference that exists in the world,
Wow.
And we've got this script written, and we just got to design the course. But it's a hard sell to a studio, because it's not. It hasn't got an obvious audience. It doesn't fit somewhere, pretty obviously commercially. So it's the sort of thing that I'd probably need to do a couple more films before a studio trusts me with a large enough sum of money.
So how are you going to differentiate yourself away from like the other comedies with that? So how are you going to move away to like what is your USP for that?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I guess the comedy with heart sort of stuff, and that's not a complete, unique kind of selling point.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. I mean, my height, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it is, 6'9".
No, I don't know. I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I wouldn't kind of want to limit myself just to that genre of comedy. That's what I like at the moment. But 3 years ago,
you might know.
I
might
didn't
change.
really.
You've still got a lot to grow, haven't you? You've still got a lot to grow and learn as well. But I think it's it's like I say, the movie's brilliant. You've done, honestly, Jack, you're doing great. And
Thank you.
You're going next Steven Spielberg.
Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe.
Within comedy, obviously.
I just wanted to know a little bit, going back to the film, actually shooting, what was one of the funniest moments that you had on set?
Oh,
obviously behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, it feels like such a long time ago. It was nearly 2 years ago now when we actually shot it.
Wow.
Funny moments. We had one of the actors. He won't like me saying. I won't say what actor. But we had
Adam.
There was a deleted scene, and he dropped a load of chips, and he wasn't in the script. He wasn't supposed to drop his chips, and he wasn't happy that there wasn't spare chips.
Is he from the north too?
He's a London boy. He's a London boy.
I knew she was going to ask that.
But no, I mean, it was so stressful, because we shot the whole thing in 19 days.
Oh, wow.
I almost didn't and to shoot a movie in 19 days with so many locations, there were 92 different setups. So we were doing like 2 or 3 location changes a day, and it was hard. There wasn't time to have fun. But there was a really good story actually. There's not many houses that you can rent for 2 months, but we found this one in Bradford. So it's already quite seedy. So we went into this house, and in the upstairs corridor there was a red light. So we were like, this must have used to have been a brothel. Turns out it did. So we,
Is this where the swingers thing came from?
So we were halfway through the shoot, and boys and girls come into this house. Everyone's staying there. There's about 15 people staying in this 3-bedroom house. So boys and girls coming in really early, really late. and the neighbours think that
it's reopened.
The brothel was reopened.
Did they come over for a visit?
Yeah, the angry neighbours. That took I wasn't staying in that house, but they had to call the police.
Oh wow!
And prove that we weren't running a.
Oh my god! What did the police say? Out.
Yeah, well, we had all because we didn't trust where we were staying too well.
Yeah.
So we bought all the film kit in from the van. So when the police came, they could see all this film kit and it's it's schedules on the wall and stuff like that. So it was a pretty easy fix, but yeah, that was a low budget filmmaking.
Wow.
In its
finest. Yeah,
yeah.
That's it. Anything to make a movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. I like that. That's good. Did anyone do any pranks not in filming? So a friend joke. Did anyone do while you was there?
Was there a practical joke on the set?
Yeah, exactly. When you wasn't filming.
There must have been. Yeah, there must have been.
I'm sure there must have been because you all all crazy about the
Was it you and you're just being modest?
Well, we all lived. So there were two houses. So we had most of the crew in one house, and then we had all the divas. So me, the main actor, and we had our own house. I was the only one that had my own bedroom. Director's suite and
VIP style.
Yeah,
the red light room.
So we made the front room we had as our drama zone as such, and lots of we just messed the drama zone up, if you like, on repeated occasions. We'd come downstairs and furniture had moved about all the time, and that wasn't too fun. But there wasn't because we all once we were on set, it was all very serious, and we had a movie to make, and it all got pretty serious,
intense and crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've had a fantastic time, Jack.
Yeah, it was great.
I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been amazing.
Pleasure. Thanks
and it's been great, and I can't wait to see your other stuff. And I really can't, it's just going to be guys, watch Destination Dewsbury. It's so funny, and I hope we don't give too much away, but please watch it. So Jack, I want to wish you all the best and good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.
See you.
Bye.